All right, let's get those welding helmets ready, because today we're going deep on prepping for a pipe welder job interview.
Oh, yeah.
Not just passing it, but absolutely nailing it.
Crushing it.
You shared some cool sources with us, a career guide, a sample interview guide, and some info on this AI platform called RoleCatcher.
Sounds like a plan.
So let's kind of fuse those together and see what we can do to give you an edge.
Yeah. What's so cool about this is, we're not just giving you like the what to say, but like the why behind it,
Yeah,
which is key for just handling anything they throw at you, really.
absolutely. And, the career guide really emphasizes that experience is king, but like how you articulate that experience makes a huge difference.
Oh, for sure.
So let's just jump into the interview questions and start practicing those answers. Yeah.
Let's do it.
The guide has 9 common questions, so let's tackle the first few.
Okay, starting strong is key, and that often begins with just a classic like, can you describe your experience with pipe welding? Now, this might seem straightforward, but there's a way to answer this that goes beyond just listing your past jobs.
Right, so how do you elevate it beyond just a simple resume recap?
Hmm.
What are interviewers really looking for here?
Well, they're looking for, a glimpse into your expertise.
Okay.
So mention the types of pipes you've worked with, steel, stainless steel, aluminum, and the specific welding techniques that you've mastered.
Yeah.
And don't just say, TIG welding.
Right.
Talk about how you've applied it maybe on high pressure systems or complex joint configurations, that kind of stuff.
Right, so it's about showcasing the range and complexity.
Exactly.
But what about those follow-up questions?
Yeah.
What if they dig deeper into a specific project or technique?
Well, that's where preparation pays off.
Yeah.
Have a few key projects in mind that you can speak to in detail.
Mm-hmm.
Know the challenges that you faced, the solutions that you implemented, the outcomes that you achieved,
Okay.
and be ready to explain why you chose a specific welding method for that project. Was it about material properties or the environment or just achieving a certain weld quality?
This is where I think RoleCatcher can be really helpful, because
Yeah.
it actually analyzes job descriptions and figures out which skills are most in demand, so you can really tailor your answers
Absolutely.
to match what employers are looking for.
And it can even give you feedback on your practice answers.
Oh, wow.
Flag any areas where you might need more detail or a stronger focus on the employer's needs.
Okay, let's weld ourselves to the next question. How do you ensure that your welds are of high quality?
Oh.
Now, I know that quality is super critical in this field,
Oh, yeah.
but how do you go beyond the obvious in your answer?
Well, it's about showcasing your process.
Okay.
So instead of saying, I always double check my work,
Right.
walk them through those quality control steps.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about visual inspection, maybe using tools like gauges or magnifying glasses.
Yeah.
If you've used non-destructive testing methods like X-ray or ultrasonic testing, mention that too.
Oh, that's smart. So you're not just relying on intuition. You're using objective measures to guarantee quality.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious, what are some red flags interviewers might be listening for in this answer?
Well, they'll want to know that you're not cutting corners.
Right.
So, for example, if you only talk about speed and efficiency without mentioning quality control, that can raise some concerns.
Oh, yeah.
You want to demonstrate that you understand the long-term implications of a faulty weld. Right?
Yeah. Makes sense. It's about being thorough and safety conscious, not just fast.
For sure.
Okay. Let's tackle question 3. Can you explain your experience with welding different types of metals? Now, I've dabbled in steel and aluminum, but does that mean I need to know how to weld, like, every metal under the sun?
Not necessarily, but showing adaptability is crucial.
Mhm.
Interviewers want to see that you can adjust your technique based on the metal's properties. So you can mention, the common metals that you've worked with, and then add something like, I'm always eager to expand my skill set, and I'm confident in my ability to learn the nuances of welding new materials.
Oh, that's a great tip, yeah. And I imagine RoleCatcher could help here
Absolutely.
by identifying the specific metals mentioned in the job description, so you can either highlight relevant experience or showcase your eagerness to learn those specific ones.
Exactly. And that level of tailoring can really impress an interviewer. It
Yeah.
shows you've done your research and you're genuinely interested in their specific needs.
So far, we've talked about experience, quality control, and adaptability.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's tackle a question that digs into problem solving. Have you ever encountered a problem while welding pipes? How did you solve it?
Oh,
This one always feels a bit tricky. You don't want to come across as someone who makes a lot of mistakes.
right. The key here is to reframe it as a learning experience.
Maybe.
So don't shy away from discussing a challenge. Everyone encounters them.
Right.
but focus on how you identified the problem.
The steps you took to resolve it and the lessons that you learned.
So should you pick a relatively minor problem, or is it better to showcase your ability to handle, like, a major crisis?
Well, it depends on the situation and the specific problem.
Yep.
A minor problem might be better if you can highlight a creative solution or a valuable lesson learned. But if you have a story about overcoming a significant challenge and it demonstrates key skills like critical thinking or teamwork, then go for it.
All right, let's put this into practice. Imagine you're in the interview and you get asked about a time that you encountered a welding problem. What's an example of a strong answer?
Here's one. I was working on a high-pressure steam line, and I noticed a slight misalignment in the pipe joint after I had completed the tack welds. I knew that even a minor misalignment could compromise the integrity of the weld under pressure, so I immediately stopped and consulted with the supervisor. We reviewed.
Once the fit-up was corrected, I completed the weld and it passed all the required inspections.
Yeah.
This experience reinforced the importance of careful preparation and communication, especially when working on critical systems.
That's a great example.
Okay.
Yeah, it highlights problem identification, communication, and a commitment to quality and safety. But what about those follow-up questions? What if the interviewer probes deeper into your decision-making process?
Well, be prepared to explain why you chose a specific course of action.
Okay.
So in this example, you could discuss the potential consequences of proceeding with the misaligned joint,
Right.
the rationale behind your suggested adjustment, and the factors you considered when evaluating the solution.
So it's about showing that you didn't just solve the problem, but you understood the why behind your actions.
Exactly.
And that level of critical thinking is impressive.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've only kind of scratched the surface of these first 4 questions, but I think we've laid a really solid foundation. What do you think? Ready to keep the momentum going?
Absolutely. Let's continue our deep dive into those interview questions.
Awesome.
And remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll become in articulating your expertise.
I completely agree. And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher.
Yes.
It can be a game changer when it comes to tailoring your answers and practicing your delivery.
You got the skills and the experience. Now let's give you the tools to showcase them effectively.
Love it.
Okay, so let's weld on with that next question from your interview guide.
Okay.
This one focuses on staying current in the field.
Okay.
The question is, how do you stay up to date on the latest welding techniques and technologies?
Oh.
Now, this is a chance to show you're not just skilled, but also passionate about your craft.
I love that. Yeah, it's like saying, hey, I'm not just here for the job.
Right.
I'm here to be the best welder I can be.
Exactly.
But how do you showcase that passion convincingly?
It's about going beyond the basics.
Okay.
Mentioning you read trade magazines is a good start, but dig deeper. Have you taken any specialized courses on advanced welding processes? Have you attended conferences or workshops where new techniques were demonstrated?
So show them you're actively seeking out knowledge. What are some specific resources or certifications that would impress interviewers in the pipe welding field?
Well, the American Welding Society,
Okay.
AWS, offers a range of certifications from basic welder qualifications to specialized ones like Certified Welding Inspector. Mentioning those shows you're serious about meeting industry standards.
And speaking of industry standards, this reminds me of a point from the career guide.
Yeah.
It mentioned the importance of staying informed about changes in codes and regulations. How could you weave that into your answer?
That's a great connection.
Yeah.
You could say something like, I make sure to stay updated on the latest revisions to codes like ASME B31.3, which covers process piping to ensure my work always meets the highest safety and quality standards.
I like it. It demonstrates that you're not just a skilled welder, but you're a knowledgeable professional who takes compliance seriously.
Exactly.
Now let's shift gears to a question that focuses on teamwork.
Okay.
This one asks, have you ever worked on a project that required you to collaborate with other tradespeople or contractors? How did you ensure that the project was successful?
Yeah.
This is about more than just welding, right?
Exactly. Pipeline projects are rarely solo endeavors.
Yeah.
They involve engineers, pipe fitters, inspectors, and more. So this question is testing your communication and collaboration skills.
Right.
So choose a project where you had to work closely with others and focus on how you contributed to the team's success.
So instead of just listing everyone involved,
Right.
what are some key things to highlight in your answer?
Talk about specific instances where you had to coordinate with other trades,
Okay.
maybe to ensure proper alignment of pipes or to work around their schedules. Describe how you communicated effectively, resolved any conflicts, and ultimately contributed to achieving the project goals.
So it's about showing that you're not just a skilled welder. You're also a team player who can communicate and problem solve effectively on a complex project.
Exactly.
What are some common challenges that might arise when working with other trades, and how could you address those in your answer?
Well, one common challenge is coordinating schedules and workspaces.
Yeah.
You could talk about how you proactively communicated with other trades to ensure that everyone was aware of each other's timelines and needs. Another potential challenge is dealing with changes or discrepancies in the plans.
Right.
You could highlight a situation where you identified a potential conflict and worked with the team to find a solution that met everyone's requirements.
Those are great examples.
Yeah,
It's about demonstrating flexibility, proactiveness, and a solutions-oriented mindset.
for sure.
And I imagine RoleCatcher could help here
Absolutely.
by analyzing the specific job description to see which collaboration skills are most valued by that employer, right?
Precisely. Maybe the job description emphasizes working with engineers, or maybe it highlights the importance of coordinating with the safety inspectors.
Right.
RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answer to focus on those specific aspects.
All right, on to the next question, which is all about leadership potential. Have you ever trained or mentored other welders?
Okay.
Now, I haven't officially held a training role, but I have helped some newer welders on the job. Does that count?
Absolutely. Any experience where you've shared your knowledge or guided others in their welding development is relevant.
Okay.
So think about times when you've explained a technique, offered feedback, or helped someone troubleshoot a problem.
So it doesn't have to be formal training.
Right.
It's about showing that you can effectively share your knowledge and help others improve their skills.
For sure.
What are some key things to highlight in this answer?
Focus on your ability to communicate complex concepts clearly,
Okay.
your patience in guiding others, and your commitment to helping them develop their skills safely and effectively.
Okay, so it's not just about what you taught them.
Right.
It's about how you taught them, emphasizing those core values of safety, clarity, and patience.
Yeah.
Now, what about those potential follow-up questions? What if the interviewer asks for a specific example of a time when you mentored someone?
Have a specific anecdote in mind.
Go.
Maybe you helped a new welder master a challenging technique, or maybe you provided guidance that helped someone pass a certification test. Be prepared to describe the situation, the challenges faced, your approach to mentoring, and the positive outcome.
Those are great tips.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to question 8, which focuses on handling pressure.
Okay.
The question is, can you describe a time when you had to work under tight deadlines?
Right.
Deadlines are a fact of life in most jobs, but in pipe welding, they can sometimes feel extra intense.
You're right. When you're dealing with critical infrastructure, timelines can be crucial.
Yeah.
This question is about showing that you can handle pressure while maintaining quality and safety.
So how do you choose a good example for this question? What kind of situation would showcase your ability to work effectively under pressure?
Think about a project where you had to complete a critical weld within a tight time frame, maybe due to an unexpected delay or a change in the schedule.
Yeah.
Focus on the actions you took to manage your time, prioritize tasks, and stay focused under pressure.
Okay, so let's say I was working on a pipeline repair, and the deadline was suddenly moved up because of an impending storm. How would I structure my answer to highlight my ability to handle that pressure?
Start by setting the scene. Describe the urgency of the situation and the importance of completing the repair before the storm hit. Then walk the interviewer through the steps you took to adapt to the new deadline. Did you streamline your workflow? Did you work extra hours or adjust your schedule to accommodate the urgency?
I definitely would have done all of that and probably would have double-checked my work to ensure everything was perfect, even under pressure. What else should I emphasize in my answer?
It's important to highlight the outcome.
Okay.
Did you successfully meet the deadline? Was the repair effective in preventing any damage during the storm? Did you receive positive feedback from your supervisor or the client for your ability to handle the pressure?
Those are great points. It's about showing that you can not only work quickly, but also deliver high-quality results under challenging circumstances.
Exactly.
And this ties back to something we touched on earlier from the career guide.
Yeah.
The importance of adaptability in this field.
For sure.
Being able to adjust to changing deadlines and unexpected challenges is a valuable skill for any pipe welder.
Exactly. This question is a prime opportunity to showcase that adaptability.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground, but there's one more question to tackle in this section,
Okay.
and it's a big one. Safety.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you ensure that your welding work meets safety standards?
Okay.
I know safety is paramount in any welding job, but how do you go beyond the obvious in your answer?
This is your chance to showcase your deep understanding of safety protocols and your unwavering commitment to following them. Start by highlighting your knowledge of relevant safety regulations and standards.
Okay.
Are you familiar with OSHA regulations, AWS safety guidelines, or any specific codes that apply to pipe welding?
Okay, so knowledge of the rules is key, but how do you demonstrate that you actually apply those rules on the job? What are some concrete examples of safety practices that would impress an interviewer?
Think about your daily routine.
Yeah?
Do you always conduct a thorough inspection of your work area before you start welding? Do you make sure you have proper ventilation, especially when working in confined spaces? Do you double check your equipment for any defects or damage?
Those are definitely essential safety practices, and it's about being proactive, right?
Exactly.
Not just reacting to hazards, but anticipating them and taking steps to prevent them.
For sure.
What about personal protective equipment, PPE? Is it enough to just say, I always wear my PPE?
Go beyond the basics.
No.
Describe the specific PPE you use and explain why it's important. For example, you could say, I always wear a welding helmet with a proper shade lens to protect my eyes from the intense arc glare, and I wear heavy-duty gloves and fire-resistant clothing to protect my skin from burns and sparks.
Oh, that's a great way to showcase your knowledge and attention to detail. And it reinforces that safety is not just a rule. It's a personal commitment to protecting yourself and those around you.
Exactly. And remember, interviewers are looking for someone who understands that safety is not negotiable.
Yeah.
It's the foundation of any successful welding operation.
Well said. We've covered 8 of the 9 questions from your interview guide. And I have to say, I'm feeling pretty confident about tackling those. What do you think? Ready to wrap things up with that final question?
Absolutely. Let's finish strong and equip you with the tools to not only ace that interview, but also build a rewarding career.
Okay, so we've tackled 8 tough interview questions, and I feel like we've really cracked the code on how to impress those interviewers.
Yeah.
But there's one question left in your guide, and it's all about safety. How do you ensure that your welding work meets safety standards?
Okay.
This feels like a chance to really drive home your commitment to safety.
It is. And while we've kind of woven safety into our answers throughout this whole deep dive, this question allows you to give a more comprehensive overview of your safety mindset.
So where do you begin? We've talked about PPE, inspecting your work area, knowing the regulations. What else can you add to make your answer really stand out?
Well, think about the bigger picture of safety.
Okay.
It's not just about following the rules. It's about fostering a culture of safety on every project.
Right.
You can talk about how you proactively communicate with others on the job site, point out potential hazards, encourage everyone to really prioritize safety.
So it's about being a leader in safety, not just a follower.
Right.
What are some specific examples that would demonstrate this proactive approach?
Well, imagine you're working in a trench and you notice some loose soil that could pose a collapse risk. Instead of just ignoring it, you immediately alert your supervisor and suggest securing the area before proceeding.
Right.
Or if you see a coworker using a tool improperly, you could offer a friendly reminder about the correct procedure.
Oh, those are great examples.
Yeah.
It shows that you're not just thinking about your own safety, but the well-being of everyone on the team.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious, what are some red flags interviewers might be looking for in this answer? What would signal that a candidate might not be as safety conscious as they claim?
Well, one red flag would be focusing solely on personal protection without mentioning the broader aspects of job site safety.
Okay.
Another would be downplaying the importance of regulations or suggesting that shortcuts are sometimes acceptable.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Interviewers want to hear that you understand the serious consequences of safety lapses and that you're committed to upholding the highest standards.
That makes sense. It's about showing that safety is deeply ingrained in your work ethic, not just something you think about when reminded.
Right.
Okay, so we've conquered all 9 interview questions.
We did it.
But before we wrap up, I want to touch on those career insights from the guide and how RoleCatcher can help you really leverage them.
Great idea.
The guide emphasizes continuous learning as a key to success in this field.
Oh, for sure.
And RoleCatcher can help you identify which skills are in highest demand and suggest relevant courses or certifications to boost your credentials.
Absolutely.
So it's like having a personalized career advisor pointing you towards the skills that will make you most marketable.
Exactly.
Now, the guide also mentioned the possibility of specializing in a particular type of pipe welding.
Yeah.
How can RoleCatcher help with that?
Well, RoleCatcher can analyze job postings to see which specializations are most sought after in your region or industry.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's TIG welding for high purity systems, or maybe it's working with exotic alloys in the aerospace sector.
Wow.
Knowing this can help you focus your training and target your job applications more strategically.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has. We've dissected those interview questions, explored career insights, and even uncovered how AI can be a powerful tool in your job search.
I agree.
Any final words of wisdom before we sign off?
Remember, you have valuable skills and experience.
Yeah.
Now go out there and showcase them with confidence.
I love it. And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher.
Yes.
It can be that extra boost you need to weld your way to success.
Good luck.
Until next time, keep those sparks flying.